Hey everybody, thanks for joining me today for the Fat Lieutenant Podcast, episode number 1, and I chose to do it on Veterans Day. Why? Because I appreciate every single one of you veterans out there who busted your ass, has done the crappiest of crappy jobs, trust me, I know what you do, and did it without too much bitching. But hey, if you weren't bitching at all, you wouldn't be happy. I know how this works. Congratulations on kicking ass and taking names. Thanks, honestly, from the bottom of my heart for keeping this country safe. You guys and girls and whatever else you want to go by, y'all make this country run, and some people don't even know it. So proud of you. Thanks for what you do. Adios. Hey everybody, I'm Scott Kincaid, and welcome to the Fat Lieutenant Podcast. Pretty hot and tempting. I want to do this. We can call it a podcast. We can call it a shoot the shit. We can call it whatever you want to call it. I don't care. What I'm hoping I can do is help get some of this in my head out to you. So let me give an introduction to who I am and why I believe I have something to say. Just so y'all know, long story short, I was born and raised in Arizona. Halfway through my childhood, my parents moved me over to Washington State, and I grew up the rest of the time in a barn and a pig farm. Struggled like any other kid does, plus extra stuff when I was a kid. And when I had a first chance I had to get out of there, out of my small town in Yelm, Washington, I took it. And I joined the Navy in 1998. And I've done a lot of stuff in the Navy. I've been a machinist mate, so a mechanic on a ship. And I've done that on carriers. I've helped train sailors on submarines. And I've, went from there. I was an officer. Even though I enlisted, I became an officer later. Got my college degree. Became a SWO, which is a Surface Warfare Officer. Pretty much you just yell at people, get yelled at, and drive ships. Hopefully not into other ships. Some people do. And then I did some Marine time where we fake like we're special ops, but we're not really. But we do get to shoot big guns and drive fast ships. And that's pretty kick-ass. And then I came from there over to the Seabees, and now I do construction management. Not that fun. But that's okay. Along those paths, I've had a ton of opportunity to interact with all kinds of people from all over the world, literally. And I've learned a lot of things on how I am and who I am. And you know what? I'm retiring here in just a few short months from this video. So if you see this a year from now, I'm already retired. And one of my biggest concerns I talked to my wife about was, damn, I love shoot the shits. I love mentoring young people and talking to people. And how am I going to do that when I'm out of the Navy? Because here's another caveat. I'm also a small business owner. About 15 years ago, I started my own business, Kincaid Woodworking, and that's morphed a couple times into what it is today, which is Kincaid Woodworking, soon to be Kincaid Designs. And that's a whole different thing. I got a whole different channel for that. The thing is, it's taught me a lot about business ownership, about how running a small business, how important certain things are, and just being a dad and a business owner and a sailor and an officer and a human being and all these other things. I've had to learn how to not be a prick, how to treat people with respect and kindness, and all these different things along the way. And so one of the things I really enjoy, and I know for a fact I'm going to miss when I get out of the Navy, is that I don't have a constant way to share that with other people. Because I really like that. I really like shooting the shit with people, being funny, and just talking to people. Now with that, I'm huge into small business. Now I recognize that you probably think I'm going to come on here. I'm calling this podcast The Fat Lieutenant. I must be some military guy talking to nothing but veterans and military about military stuff. And that's not true. First off, I do want to talk about that stuff because, well, most people I know are military. So, that's who I'm going to be. However, I think that one of the big things I really, truly enjoy is I love small business. And I love people who think like me in small business. And I just love the fucking hustle. So if you're a hustler and you want to learn something about hustling, get some tidbits, get some ways of thinking that may help change your mind or put you down the right path or confirm what you're already doing, well, I'm that guy. Hopefully I can help maybe give you some of that. And maybe you can tell me I suck or I'm good, whatever you want to do. I don't give a shit. You just make sure you comment on whatever platform you're on and say yay or nay. A nay is just as good to me. It tells me what I need to improve on. So let me know. And anyway, if you see something you like or you want to talk about something, just let me know and we'll talk about that too. But in the meantime, I did want to go. What my whole idea is that, every time I have one of these shows, we'll spend, for right now, we're going to try and do it once a week. And we'll say, I'll pick up one topic and we'll kind of delve into that topic. and we can say whatever we want on that topic. And like I said, I love being motivated. So if I get a little heated or excited, that's just me. I'm sure you can understand. And I hope you guys are motivated too. I hope you're excited about being business owners. I hope you're excited about getting that hustle on. I don't care if you're a 12-year-old kid or a 69-year-old dude. If you are that person who's a hustler, I want to hear from you, and I want to see you do well, and it's going to be badass. And I'm telling you right now, I know people of all races, genders, creeds, all this stuff, and these people are all motivated hustlers, and that's exciting to me. And I don't care about any of that extra crap that society tries to tell you is important, like someone's gender or race or color or whatever you want to name. It doesn't matter. What I care about is how people treat other people and how much you adore the business, the art of the hustle, right? So, if this could be used for anybody, but that's what I'm into. So I want to make this about that, and I want to talk to people who are small business owners. I want to open this podcast up so we can meet with people who are small business owners. I've already got a few on the line, and we're going to talk about what makes them tick, and we're going to talk about the topics that I think are important to future business owners in this country and hopefully throughout the world, because I think a lot of my principles would do well anywhere you go. So the principle I want to talk about today is I thought long and hard, what should my first topic be? And I thought about this long and hard, and I said, man, I got to pick up something good, but it's just what speaks to me every day. And I was driving home from the Navy into my shop, and it hit me really hard. My old man gave me advice when I was a really young boy, all the way up through, I mean, he still says the same crap to me. And it's 100% true, and I want you all to hear this and listen to it. My thoughts and his words have been confirmed, and there's just throughout, right? I've heard it from many people, but these are words that stuck with me over and over, and he beat it into me, my brother and I want you to hear it, and that is, do what you love, and the money will come. Do what you love, and the money will come. Not, hey man, suck it up, get in the fucking rat race, drive to work an hour and a half each way, like I do right now, and don't worry, the money will come. Eventually, someone will take pity on you, and they'll give you a lot of money for driving 3 hours a day and typing on your fucking keyboard. Let me tell you, that's not what that means. What this means is do what you love, and the money will come. I'll tell you what else it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean do what you love, and tomorrow you'll be a fucking zillionaire. That's not how this works either. Also, complete bullshit. Do what you love and the money will come. And I'd like to change it a little bit even to say, do what you're passionate about and success will come. Because we don't all define success with money, although it's a good benchmark, right? Like I love having money. I was at something today and a guy owed me some money, walked up, hands me a handful of $20 bills, stuffed in my pocket. Man, that feels good. And, I look at my wife and act like I'm crying wipe my tears with 20s. Nothing wrong with that. But I'll tell you right now, that doesn't define success. However, it's a good benchmark to know you're on the right track, right? So nothing wrong with money. But the truth is, you got to find what you're passionate about. And if you push your entire world into that passion, then you're going to eventually come to success. And to get that into perspective, I started woodworking. Now, I'll tell you what, I've been a hustler since day one. When I was a kid, I'd sell beef sticks door to door for some reason, and I'd get people to buy them. I loved the art of the sale. It was embarrassing, and when I got shot down, I said no, but man, when they said yes, God, I sold a fucking beef stick to an asshole. Yes, let me get your money. This kind of thing is something I love. Even when I was a kid in church, we had to sell candy bars to pay for a mission trip. I'd double the price of the candy bar. And, because I was a little fat kid, it would just pay for my own candy bars. But you know what? I got free candy bars out of the deal. And I was always looking for that hustle. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I can't always promise you which one it is. But that's what I did, right? And some of the stuff I'm not too proud of. But hey, I got my candy bars. Hey, that's why I'm the fat lieutenant today. Imagine that. So here's the deal. Is when I was about 23 or 24 years old, I married my wife. My wife did have a daughter before we were married, who I've been with my whole life. She's with her whole life, rather. Amethyst. She's an amazing lady. I love her to death. But she was a little kid. She was like 4 years old. And the first time in my life, I felt this need, I got to pay for Christmas presents. Holy shit, how am I going to do this? I'm an E5 in the Navy. They don't pay me garbage. It was good when I was a single guy, but now that I've got a wife and kid, man, this sucks. I'm broke. How am I going to pay for Christmas presents? I said, well, I like woodworking. I could try to make some cutting boards. I don't know. Maybe that would work. I don't know. So I started making a cutting board, and I made one for my pastor's wife, and she really liked it. It was a little butcher block. And then I was making a couple more for gifts, not thinking too much about it because I didn't have money for presents, so I was just making some presents, and I didn't have much to do with it. But I said, you know what? I'll make some cutting boards as gifts, and nothing fancy, just some maple and walnut stripes. And some lady comes up to me, and she says, "Hey, are you selling those?" I mean, this is weird. I'm in my driveway, and a lady visiting a neighbor sees me out there making them, walks by and says, "Are you selling these?" I said, "Like any hustler, what do you think?" I said, "Yep, sure am, ma'am. How would you like to buy some?" And thus was born Kincaid Woodworking. But the truth is, as a hustler, I'm always willing to make something. I'll figure it the fuck out. I don't even need to know how to do it. But if you ask me to do it, I'm going to figure it out. Okay, so here's the thing. I found out through that one thing led to another. What I did was end up selling wholesale cutting boards at a completely low price that I could never meet. And I felt like I made a lot of money, but when I look back, I probably made $3 an hour. But at the time, holy shit, I came up with a couple grand for the amount of cutting boards I made for her, because she actually was the owner of a consignment shop, bought them wholesale for me, marked them up, and bada bang, bada boom, I was in business, and I made $2 grand for Christmas, and it was an awesome Christmas, and I was able to pay off some bills too, which is pretty rad. And Amethyst got probably the biggest Christmas she's ever got when I realized, holy crap, you can't just keep on spoiling kids like this. But at the time, it was pretty badass, and I was the coolest dad in the whole wide world, and I'll take that, if only for a year. My point to say is that, holy crap, I was doing what I loved, and all of a sudden this money started coming in, right? And then what happened was I saw that money, and I already loved woodworking. I didn't know much about it. The truth is I wasn't that good woodwork. I was not any different than anybody else, right? I made a cutting board. Those aren't difficult to make. You take a board, you rip it as straight as possible, and then you glue it to the board, and then you put it through a planer that I borrowed from a buddy, and then you route it and you sand the hell out of it, and then you put oil on it. It's not that difficult. Now, if you have zero skills at all, I could have you make it a cutting board within 15 to 20 minutes. If you are a really good woodworker, it would take you less than that to eat. I mean, you're starting to be like the guy who's getting weird designs on cutting boards. They're just not hard to make. They're very, very, very simple. All of a sudden, I'm doing something I love, which is creating. I just love making stuff, and the money started coming. Well, this consignment shop lady comes to me later on, and she goes, "You know what? This is like within a month or two." Says, "I have all these quilts. I'm part of a quilting club, and I need a way to hang them for ladders." And she sends me a couple pictures. This is way before the internet really was a thing. I mean, it was around, but I'd say 50% of the people had the internet, and if they did, it was dial-up most of the time. So a lady comes to me and goes, "Hey, Scott, I need you to make me some quilt ladders. Is something you could do?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I can figure that out." So once again, no clue. I had to figure out how to make jigs to make these things, and I had to figure out how to do, where to buy wood, or how to make them, or how was I going to make dowels, or how was I going to put a mortise and tenon using a dowel? How was I going to make it look like an Amish dude made it like she wanted? With electric tools and whatnot. I mean, it just took time. And all these little problems I had to figure out, right? But hey, it's what I loved, and the money was coming, right? It wasn't coming big. I wasn't making massive amounts, but hey, I had little jobs coming in, right? Well, from there, went on to build some tables and things like that, and people would buy me the tools to make them, and that was the payment. And I learned and learned and learned. And over the years and years, and mentors, here I am 15 years later. I got a giant shop. It's filled with every cool tool that many of you have never even heard of. Lasers and CNCs, even something called a Hoffman jig that no one's ever heard of besides myself and a buddy of mine named Chuck. But let me tell you, the money's coming. And it's because I was passionate about it as a young guy, as a 23-year-old dude. I loved building when I was a kid. My old man would have me out there building pig pens and building just the most random shit with the crappiest material. And he'd look at me and say, "I don't care, you got to figure it out. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. I'm just going to tell you to do it." And, at the time, I wanted to flip him off and say, "Well, fuck you, Dad. I guess I'll come up, I don't know what you want from me." But now I look back and go, man, that old man was, as much as I hate to admit it, Dad, he was right in the fact that he didn't give me no freebies. He made me figure out problem solving. And so that's really the part that I enjoyed, was that problem solving. And I was able to, over the years, become passionate about building things in woodworking. And, you know, the more I got into woodworking, the more I understood why I had to learn math in high school. Trigonometry came into effect, and I had to kind of teach myself all that stuff over again. But the cool thing was, it took me all those years, and now I'm creating stuff. But I've done something like lacquering, or, you know, finishing a piece. I've done it so many times now that I'm pretty proficient at it. And now my $3 an hour, I know how to price things. I don't need to take nearly as long to do stuff. So now I'm getting paid an appropriate rate for what I make. And in a lot of cases, it's pretty good money. So what I'm telling you is this: I was passionate about something, and now I'm seeing success. And that success isn't just measured by money. That success is measured by a shop full of kick-ass tools. If you're like me and you love creating stuff, well, having a shop full of kick-ass tools is pretty much a necessary thing. And boom, I got it. To me, that's a success. Sometimes I'll drink whiskey by the glass full, sit out in my shop and just stare at my shop and think, man, I'm doing real well. That's a success story. That's pretty badass. And let me tell you right now, if you do what you love, which I've been doing for 20 years, the money will come. I did what I was passionate about. Success came. And you know, that was some of the best advice that ever came to me. And there's also something else I learned along the way. Your passions don't always stay the same. So if your passions change along your path, don't be afraid to chase those passions too. I used to love the art of creating something. I've created all kinds of neat things. And I've made furniture, and I've made jigs, and I've made this and that, and shadow boxes, and plaques, and all kinds of cool stuff. But over the time, what I've learned is that I really started to enjoy my laser engraver, and I started enjoying making artwork on the computer and a graphic artist type thing. And nowadays, I still love the woodworking, but I have this other passion. It's starting to get more and more into graphic arts and designing logos for people and turning those logos into cool products that they can make. My point is, my passions have changed along the ways. Another passion has changed. The idea of just being a business owner. When I first started this, it wasn't even in the concept of understanding to be a business owner. Wait, you can make a living doing woodworking? That's ridiculous. You know, I knew like 3 furniture makers. I knew guys who owned cabinet shops who couldn't make a fucking dime woodworking because there's not really that much money when you're competing against China or, you know, India or Mexico or some of these just massive shops. Like even Craft Made is American made, but you know what? They're massive shops and CNCs do all of it, and you just can't compete against that because most customers aren't going to pay you for it, and you're going to have to slog for years and years to get your name known. So part of the fun of this whole process for me was taking how to figure out how to get this skill, right? And then turn it into a usable or a sellable product, right? So looking at it going, I love making furniture. It's probably one of my favorite things to do. I love making real high-end humidors. One of my favorite things to do. It's got joinery. It's got cool colors. It's got great wood types. It's got intricacies, all these fun things. But it's hard to find a customer for a $900 humidor. Most humidor buyers aren't buying them. And most people buying humidors are going strictly to these well-known custom humidor makers to get this made. They're not going to come to a guy like me, right? Or there's a lot of me out there who isn't known for making humidors, right? People come to me all the time for high-end plaques and carvings and shadow boxes because I'm the guy who's known to make that kind of stuff. But they don't come to me for humidors. And when they do, and I tell them a price, I know what it costs for me to make that. And generally the price I tell them is probably lower. I'm not going to make much money, but I enjoy making the product, right? The deal is, is they come to me and they hear that price and go, whoa. For that kind, I want to guarantee it. I know what I'm going to get, and they'll go to a known specific humidor maker. My point is this: it takes a long time to go down that road. But so where the passion came for me along the way was trying to figure out how to take what I do, my skill set, and make me a profit. You know what I'm saying? So I could have figured out how to make $10,000 bed sets and dressers, you know, and once every 2 years I find myself a customer. Or I could do what one of my mentors, Chuck Mogi, told me to do, which is make nothing bigger than fits on your desk. Everything needs to fit on your desk or hang on your wall. And I looked at it and I said, geez, that's not a bad idea. And so we worked with tooling and I worked with design, and I kind of figured out what my plan was to go from this kind of normal shop, a little, garage shop, to having legitimate industrial tooling. How long that was going to take me. And I started a project about 6 years ago doing this. And it took me, well, I mean, I just bought another tool, another big tool. It's just an ongoing process when you're building a shop. But the point is, it was a new thing I was passionate about, and lo and behold, the money's coming. The success is coming. I'm seeing it happen. Now listen, tomorrow it could all go to bust. It could all go to shit, and America gets rid of the military, and then most of my customers are gone and I'll have to figure something else out. That could happen. I doubt it, but it could happen. I'm going to keep going down this road. I think it's a good way to go. Now, all this to say is that listen to this advice. Do what you love and the money will come. Do what you love and the money will come. I want to encourage you out there that if you find something you're passionate about, don't wait for tomorrow to make sure you're passionate about it. Start it today. But I'm here to tell you, the feeling of success you get when you find a passion and you pursue that passion and you better that passion is amazing. And I want to encourage you, if you're out there listening to this, don't wait until tomorrow to start that passion. If you want to get on YouTube and make a YouTube video, get on YouTube and make a YouTube video. Pull your camera out, pull your cell phone out, put it up, prop it up, and just start talking. Listen, this could be nothing. This podcast can go nowhere. But I'm not doing it for it to go nowhere. I'm doing it because I love to do it. Because I want someone. If one person out there, here's what I'm saying, I'll be happy. But if your idea is you want to be a YouTube artist, well then get out there and start recording. And record stuff that you think is funny. You'll find your audience, I promise you. Listen, not everybody likes my shit. Not everybody likes what I make. But I have an audience. People who buy it, they like it, and they're return customers. You'll find your audience. Get out there and pursue your passion. Don't worry about the money right now. You're not going to be a zillionaire tomorrow, but work it. It took me 15 years to where I'm getting at today, and I'm making a decent living doing what I want to do. Now, I still got that Navy paycheck coming in, but it's gone in a couple months here. And you know what? I'm at the point now where I can swap it over. My point is, I'm at the point now, it took me 15 years to get down a road of woodworking to figure out how many iterations of changes I need to make to get to the end state where right now I can pursue this full time and look at it like a real viable business. Not everyone's going to take 15 years. We all have different projects and problems and hurdles to get over. I had to deal with every couple months. I'm underway. I'm deployed constantly. I was on one ship that was underway 23 out of 27 months. Well, during that time, I just can't spend a lot of time in the shop making stuff. So that 15 years probably could have been cut way down to really 6 years, maybe even 8, 9 years to learn some basic skills, get better basic skills. But that could have been really hammered down had I not been underway so much or deployed so much. I really could have spent that time working hard at my passion. So it can be 15 years. It can be 20 years. I mean, Rodney Dangerfield, he didn't hit his stride until he was, 50 years old? I can't remember the exact date. But as a young man, he was an HVAC salesman and owned a couple clubs, comedy clubs. It was nothing. And then one day he woke up in his 50s, maybe it was his 60s, and said, I got this character. It's Rodney Dangerfield. And I'm gonna pursue this passion. And then boom, he pursued comedy. He stuck with it for years. He did what he loved, which was comedy, for years and years and years. And when he finally found the right character, found the right product to give to the people, then the money came. Then the successes came. And he had all this experience. And people say he has notebooks and notebooks and notebooks filled with jokes. Just tons of jokes. Then when he finally found his character that people loved, he just literally just annihilated the competition when it came to joke writing. Because when he came out, he had been doing what he's passionate about for years. And finally the money came. So, like I said, I want to encourage you. Get off your ass today, if that's what you need to do, and pursue it. And if you're feeling dejected because the money hasn't come yet, stop beating yourself up. I'm here to assure you that if you do what you love, eventually you're going to find your audience. Let me throw something else out there. If you do truly love it, you're going to find, the cool thing is you're going to find what you need to change or fix or whatever to make whatever product you're selling that much better, right? So one thing I'm constantly doing, I'm constantly looking for new tooling that's going to change the way I do business, make better joinery. I'm constantly reading, watching YouTube videos on how to do certain things because it's interesting to me. I'm constantly trying new stuff. I'm making sample products in my shop when no one's around just to see if I can improve something or make something cooler or make it that much better. I'm constantly doing these things because I'm passionate about it, because I love it. So if you're passionate about it, just do as much of it as you can. Let it engulf your life. Don't let anyone out there tell you, oh, you spend too much time doing this shit. Fuck those guys. Fuck those girls. They're bad for you. Get rid of them. Get around people who say, hell yeah, I want to fucking do your passion. I want to support you in your passion. My brother's passionate about his YouTube channel. Go check it out. It's Kincaid, or Mike Kincaid. He's got Kincaid Nursery. I'll put a link down here if you're on YouTube. Otherwise, go check out Mike Kincaid on YouTube. And he loves nursery stuff. He's been doing it for, 12, 15 years. Passionate as hell. He's got a great following on YouTube, and he's been making videos for years. He's unbelievable. And I'll tell you right now, he's a little nervous because he's at that point now where he could go either way with his nursing career. And let me tell you right now, Mike Kincaid is passionate about what he does. And so although Mike Kincaid is nervous because he's got all these extra hurdles he's got to get over, and he's doing a lot of it himself, I'm here to tell you that I know the end result of a passionate person. I know the end result. I see it. I'm a passionate person. This is the end result. I know the end result. I guarantee I know the end result. And if you are the end result of passion, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Mike Kincaid is passionate. He's nervous about making the swap over to doing something full-time that he's passionate about. But I'm telling you, he's been passionate long enough. He's busted ass long enough. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what hurdles get in front of him because he's fucking passionate. How great is that? I'm so excited for him. I'm excited for my brother. What can I say? But I'm telling you, if you're passionate about it and you've busted your ass and you've covered your bases, make a leap. Get out of that fucking rat race. Stop driving to work so some other asshole can pay you to make them a lot of money. Fuck that. Get up. Get over them hurdles. If you got to get rid of some of your bills, get rid of your shitty car. Get rid of some extra bullshit you don't need. If you don't need it, get rid of it and pursue your passion, for God's sake. I'm telling you right now, you will succeed. It's a guarantee. I'm guaranteeing if you pursue your passion like it is everything, so you're guaranteed to succeed. You're not guaranteed to get there by just dicking off, but eventually you're going to get there. I'm not saying you're going to succeed overnight, but if you continue to pursue your passion and don't wait for tomorrow to pursue it, pursue it right now. When you're done watching this video, go down to YouTube and what if I'm talking crazy now? I'm rambling. What I'm trying to say is this: pursue your passion. Start today. The money will come. Okay, that's it. That's where this is the whole feel of this podcast. I love talking like this. I get motivated just talking like this. It's going to keep coming up, and I hope 1 or 2 or 3 or 100,000 of you want to listen to it. If so, let me know how I can improve it. Let me know how I can get better. Comments, if you're on YouTube, comments below. If you're not on YouTube, however you can leave a comment, leave it. Whatever access I'm putting it on, or whatever SoundCloud or iTunes or whatever. Give me a comment. Let me know how we can improve, how I can improve this show for you. What kind of stuff do you want to talk about? Tell me. I'm willing to work with you and do whatever you need to talk about. But hey, when it comes down to it, this is what I'm motivated about. This is what excites me. I love the topic, and I'll talk to anybody about anything. Do what you love, and the money will come. Do what you're passionate about, and success will find you. I know you can do it. Until next time, I am the Fat Lieutenant. We will see you around. Adios.